This is my preview to UFC 330, Ian Machado Garry versus Islam Makhachev, guys. This is going to be a banger of a main event and co-main event with Mackenzie Dern taking on Gillian Robertson. But let's be honest, the rest of the card is just not that good. It is just plain Jane. But we are going to figure out who's winning each of these fights, who I'm taking and why. Guys, we get to see Islam Makhachev finally return to the octagon. It's been a long time since his fight against JDM where he pretty much just cuddled him to death, guys, to get that double champ status in a very boring fight. But Ian Machado Garry, he has not finished nobody in a long time either. He's not really the wow you. He's a decisioner. He kind of just scrapes out decisions. But in this fight, Ian Machado Garry's going to have to maintain that distance, chop the leg of Makhachev, use knees, uppercuts, teeps, anything to keep that distance. And when he does get back against the cage, drop his level, shoot the double underhooks, and try to negate the takedown and circle out of there. But ultimately, I think Islam Makhachev's able to rinse and repeat. I think he just uses the pressure, backs Ian Machado Garry up to the fence, gets him into a nice little clinch, and then he does the inside leg sweep or a body lock takedown and kind of just corral the legs. That's where the length of Ian Machado Garry is going to go, negatively. But Islam Makhachev is saying it's not going to be his biggest challenge. He believes that he can handle this fight very easily, guys. As we look at this fight, Islam Makhachev's definitely the stronger guy, even though he's going up to this weight class. And I think Ian Machado Garry's definitely bigger, but I don't think he's denser and as strong as Islam Makhachev. We all know that Islam Makhachev's in his prime. He's 34 years old. He's got that grown man strength. So Islam's like, it's not going to be my biggest challenge, brother. 2-3 years forget of wrestling in Dagestan. I'll take this guy down. Everybody knows my game plan. I'm going to take this guy down and wrestle him. Let's wrestle. So we know Cousin Mountains. He's an amazing fighter, pound for pound, number one fighter. He's looking to take him down to the ground. There's no hiding that, what his game plan is. This is Ireland versus Dagestan 2. We finally get to see another matchup like that. Everybody's going to be interested in this one. They got Islam Makhachev listed at 5'10", but I believe he's taller than that. And they got his weight still listed as a lightweight. UFC, billion-dollar company, billions of dollars company, and they can't update their website, but oh well. We move on. I'm taking Islam Makhachev to finish that fight in probably the third round with a Darce choke. I think he gets back to the finish column, and he does it on the ground, honestly. Shoots relentless takedowns, and he has his way. He's going to trade with him early. And I think Ian Machado Garry is going to have a little success until he just faces the pressure. And that's when Islam Makhachev's going to be able to get him down, and then Ian Machado Garry's not getting back up. He's like, you'll do nothing to me. You grab me legs, yeah? But this time the Ireland's going down, and I'm rooting for the Dagestani in this case because we all know what's going on with the controversy with Ian Garry. He wants women to rule the world. He's just not that likable of a guy. So we move on. Mackenzie Dern taking on Gillian Robertson, guys. This is going to be a heck of a clash. Both of these girls have extremely good grappling. Gillian Robertson's more of a ground and pound you out. Mackenzie Dern is we all know, a Brazilian world champion black belt. So she's going to be very good from guard. So I don't see how Gillian Robertson beats her there. This is ultimately going to be a striking match. And I see that Mackenzie Dern's definitely got the better skills on the striking. She has definitely leveled up intensely over the last few fights. Her striking is legit. And I think ultimately, in this fight, if Mackenzie Dern does get her on the ground, I think she's better there. And I think she's better striking. So I think she gets the finish. I think third round, she submits her. She gets her to the ground, does some ground and pound, and ultimately locks in a choke, probably a rear naked choke. So I'm taking Mackenzie Dern to get this done. She's already made weight. She's already on stage. So there's nothing to worry about here. I think that, this is a massive fight, but ultimately I'm riding with Mackenzie Dern to get that fight done. We move on. Jalen Turner versus Ka Fernandez. I believe Jalen Turner, this guy he's the superior athlete. I think the reach advantage for Jalen Turner is going to be significant in this fight. And I think that ultimately the key is going to be to stay on the edge, pet that jab, frustrate Fernandez, and look to set up that huge power shot and get him to the ground and submit him. So catch Fernandez coming in, because we know that Fernandez is going to be trying to get through that jab. If you can catch his momentum coming in, rock him and just drop him. And I think Jalen Turner gets it done second round. He drops him, and then he finishes him on the ground with a KO finish, guys. We move on. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Guys, we both know that Mansour Abdul Malik does not have the best cardio, so he is a big prospect coming off of the Contender Series with that huge KO power, and I believe he's going to have to catch Dustin Stoltzfus in the early rounds, first round or second round. I believe he gets it done. He's going to put that pressure, back him up against the cage, and just start swinging wildly. I think him and his team, they've acknowledged the fact that he does not have the best gas tank. So it's going to be very important for him to get him out of there quick and early. So with that terrifying first round power, I just believe that he's going to be able to catch Dustin Stoltzfus. But if he's not able to, the third round could be all Stoltzfus. We move on. Edson Barboza versus Esteban Ribovic. Guys, Edson Barboza, I just don't think this is going to be a good fight for him. He's on the downcline. Esteban Ribovic is one of those guys who's going to pressure you early and often. I think he throws a high volume of combinations, and that's going to be very dangerous for Edson Barboza. But we all know that Edson Barboza is tough as nails, and he could land a huge strike and put Ribovic down. But ultimately, I'm riding with Ribovic here. There's a reason why he's a massive favorite in this fight, guys. And I'm taking Esteban Ribovic to get this done by early KO. I think first or second round, you see him with a massive finish here. We move on. Chidi Njokuani versus Joel Alvarez. Guys, I believe Joel Alvarez is going to easily win this fight. We know that Joel Alvarez has really good size, good length. I think that the front choke that he possesses is like not on Paddy Pimblett's level, but it is very nasty. And I believe that if he can get him into the clinch, get him in that front choke, it's going to set him up to do amazing things. So I'm riding with Joel Alvarez. I think the second round he gets a submission, a choke of some sort, probably start off as a front choke and end into a guillotine of some sort. But ultimately, Joel Alvarez gets it done. We move on. Charles Johnson versus Eduardo Chapolin. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a heck of a fight. I think Charles Johnson is one of those guys where he could just show up or he could just come in there and just absolutely just get KO'd. But in this fight, we need to see Charles Johnson, the elite Charles Johnson. So use that cardio, just pressure, volume, get in the face of Chapolin. He took this fight on short notice. You need to drown him early and often, back him up against the fence, dump the gas tank. We all know that you got elite cardio. That's going to be the key to winning this fight. So I'm going with Charles Johnson to win that fight. That's going to be a close fight, but ultimately I think Charles Johnson comes in more prepared. Dante Johnson versus Eric Makhachev. I'm going with Dante Johnson in this fight, guys. I think he's just the better athlete. He's got very good pocket combinations with his boxing. He knows how to stay in there, go to the body, go to the head, mix it up really well, stay in that fire, and I believe you're going to have to get into the fire with this guy. Back him up against the cage, reduce the space, get it to where he can't circle away, and then, let them combinations off, and Dante Johnson gets an early finish in this fight. We move on. Vicente Luque versus Tracion Gore. I believe Vicente Luque gets it done here, guys. Or Trayshawn Gore gets it done here, guys. Sorry. I believe this is his coming out party. These explosive blitzes that Trayshawn Gore puts on, I just think it's danger for Vicente Luque. You cannot sit here and trade with this guy. He's going to have to get on his bike and try to wear him down, and I just ultimately think that Luque's defensive shell style and shelling up is going to be just the end for him. I can see him getting backed up and just absolutely spraying on. So I'm going with Trayshawn Gore to get it done in the first round. I think he just puts it on it. He comes out here. He don't play around. He gets a first round KO here. We're going to look at some of these early prelims. I know a lot of people is probably not going to tune into this, but Tobias is actually a pretty decent fighter. He's fighting Lucas Fernando from Brazil. And I think ultimately Lucas Fernando, this is his coming out party. He uses a lot of defensive style striking, using the distance and maintaining that range. And I think it's going to be really effective against Tobias, who's kind of plods around. So I think Fernando's going to get it done. We move on, probably with a second round KO, to be honest. Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Guys, this is going to be a tough fight. And ultimately, I think Ramiz Brahimaj, I think he gets it done because ultimately he's got the better wrestling, and I think that the wrestling reigns supreme. We move on. Jeremiah Wells versus Mike Tebek Orolbai. And the Kyrgyzstani, guys, I believe he gets it done in this fight as well. As you can see, the massive odds here. The wrestling's going to weigh him supreme. I think he can use just the pressure, back him against the fence, shoot the takedown, take him down, submit him, or ground and pound finish. So I'm going with Mike Tebek Orolbai, and he comes up onto the scene in epic fashion with an early ground and pound finish, probably the first round. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe this video, guys, and push it. Helps to push the algorithm, get it out there, and be looking for some more videos. Peace.